Welcome back to My Hero Academia Anime Review, episode number 34. This one reviewing the 74th episode of the series, Lemillion, adapting chapters 149 to 152. Yep, another episode would adapt 4 chapters in a row. I did check the one that was released today. Now, this episode was released last week. Though no dub last week, I wasn't too pleased. Well, my only guess is they probably need a week off because of the holidays, so why not? And now we got this episode been dubbed. Great. Looking forward to watching next week's watching the episode that aired today. Yeah, basically, my Funimation has gone to the whole thing right now of being like right now just 1 week behind the sub, which is fine. As of this episode, there's only about because this is technically I think it's the 10th episode. If I'm mistaken. This is actually the 11th. Yeah, this is the 11th episode of season 3. No, season 4. There's roughly like 14 episodes left to go to be aired for the season. And I did check basically what they adapted for next week, for the episode today's one I'm reviewing aired last week. They trimmed it down to 3 chapters. Okay, fine. Maybe they're going to basically stretch out a little bit further than they probably would have. That's my personal guess. What happens this episode? Basically, you got a couple things happen here. One, you kind of wrap up basically of Deku, Eraserhead, and Night Eye taking care of. I think his name is Mimic. Mimic, I think it is. Yeah, and you see the Toga and Thrice. You see a brief flashback of them when they first joined the Yakuza, and like the scene is portrayed pretty much the same way as in the manga. The only slight addition here is that they actually show. I don't remember the guy's name. His quirk is Confession, and he looks like a priest. Yeah, where you kind of see him in a way. He uses a little power at the side. Yeah, and that's one thing they add here, but mostly it's pretty much portrayed the same way. Yep, a guy's basically overhaul asks their quirks. They initially say no, and then Confession forces basically to tell the truth. Thrice basically explains he can copy himself. He can basically make copies thanks to his little measure he has on his little wrist. And when he finishes talking, he's like, "Oh no, why did I talk for?" Because confession thing. And then Toga pretty much does the same thing, explaining to her quirk that she can drink blood and copy people. Yep. And she also has the embarrassing fortune of basically having to be naked for this, which is indeed true. Though when they show this in the anime, they actually kind of give her a gray suit to wear, because in the manga, she is completely naked. That's why I guess she says she's naked, but in the anime, you never see her actually in the nude. Never. My only guess is because there was there was probably, and this is my personal theory, that Studio Bones probably did not want to show nudity in the series, despite the fact that Toga has done this a couple times in the series, and you actually see her completely naked. And my guess is Studio Bones probably thought, though, that she probably should not be naked, so they gave her pretty much a white suit to wear, almost like a white jumpsuit in a way, but you can kind of tell she looked like she could be naked, but she really isn't. Yep. And last thing that they're asked is like, does Todoroki have plans to portray him? They have orders to portray him? He's like, nope. They do on their own anyways. Yep. They kind of turn on him, and Deku pretty much takes him out. Though Night Eye throws his eraser at him, this little, not eraser, his stamp, right at him, and somehow that eraser, it's basically like a three-way thing of beating this guy. Of course, Deku basically hears his voice and like finds the little hole where he is, kicks him, falls down, and then throws his stamp at him. Eraserhead blocks his ability, and Deku catches him, and that's that. Then they go off searching for Lemillion. Cut to Lemillion. Now, here's something, add some things here. Some minor things, like Like, he's about to face off against Overhaul, and then he starts falling over. Like, what? And we see the guy slouch, his ability slouch. Now, they do add in here, and I thought this was really cool. They added this in because he's drinking sake, like a big bottle of sake. I never tried this stuff before because I don't drink alcohol, but I can tell it's sake because sake is usually portrayed like its appearance usually like this whitish gray stuff, so it's probably sake he's probably drinking. And he's crawling on the ceiling. They added in basically the sake dropping on the floor. That was actually not in the manga. That was complete anime original, which that was actually pretty good for the anime to do. Yep. And basically after that, he faced off against him and he faces against the fashion guy from the beginning from the flashback, and he beats him. Pretty like takes a little while, but he does beat them. Catch up with Overhaul. Eventually, he managed to get area away from him, away from Overhaul. Overhaul basically wrecked the place. Apparently, his ability, explained by Eri, is that he can break stuff and then reassemble them himself. And if he does try to kill Eri, he actually resurrects her no problem at all because that's basically his ability. He can break them apart and bring it back together. And Lemillion basically, she's telling him, like, get back to them. I was like, no. It's like, I failed yours before, I'm not going to do it again. So, and they fight the whole episode. At one point, Lemillion takes off his cape to protect Eri. And he also, kind of in the way, loses his ability because he gets shot by that quark stopper. And while saving Eri, eventually he decides to beat the crap out of Overhaul with nothing but sheer willpower. And he eventually gets stabbed by the spikes. And then we cut to the credits. And then we have post-credit scenes like Overhaul looks like Overhaul's about to finish the job. And then Deku bursts through the wall with Night Eye and Eraserhead. A great way to end the episode. And here's kind of the neat thing. That's another addition they make to this thing because the manga chapters ends with Deku breaking through the wall. Here they add Deku and then it's Night Eye and Eraserhead, which I thought was really cool, the fact they added that in. This episode overall was really, really good. And I'm definitely looking forward to the next episode, which I'm going to wait till next week to watch the dub for this one because I'm not going to watch the sub because even though I have nothing against the sub, I love watching the dub for My Hero Academia. Now, one thing I haven't had a chance to talk about yet is the kind of new, let's just say, logo they use for the anime for this particular season. And it's a pencil, the pencil lettering for the My Hero Academia logo. Basically, this first showed up back in the first episode of the season. And it's an interesting look. I mean, it's a series about a school. Why not? Why they waited to season 4 to do this, I have no idea. Probably because the fact that that's not the official logo. Like, here's the logo from the volume which they have the chapters from, volume 17, the 3D logo, which they use this frequently the entire series. Like, throughout the credits, they actually do, in fact, sometimes use this, but for when they get to the main title itself, it's just basically like a handwritten, like, logo, which is kind of interesting the fact they did this. Yep. And I do have a slight criticism about the opening theme, that there's no like lyrics to it, just basically like lots of it's a good music, but actually there is some music, but it's not as like upbeat as it was the previous seasons, but it's still a pretty good song. Yeah, but nobody else to say. Now, I normally will also review New Chapter Manga, which probably has been, but the site I read it on didn't upload it. Nope. I have to wait till Monday to review this chapter. Yeah, for some reason, now I use the Weekly Shonen Jump app basically sometimes to review chapters, like I do for Black Clover, I do it for Barto. I do read the Dragon Ball Super manga. On that particular thing, because I like the translation better of Viz Media than what this other site does. And I also do read My Hero Academia manga in there as well, and the translation is actually pretty good. But for some reason, and now normally their chapters get released on Sunday, for some reason they're getting released Monday for some reason. I don't know why, it's particularly very weird. Yeah, as far as I can tell, it's not been explained. Occasionally I would read One Piece on from this particular app, but sometimes basically normally from this other site, which I'm not gonna mention my name because I don't want the site shut down because I like using the site. Yep, and yeah, not much else to say. Really good, and well, expect a special for My Hero Academia on Monday. My next review I'm going to do is a comic corner. Yep, of 2 trades I own. Yep, I'm also going to do Case Closed today, which I'm reviewing newest episode of the anime, and well, hopefully new episode of the anime. I haven't checked to see if it's been uploaded yet. Hopefully it has, and the new chapter manga, which that has been released. I did check and see if Fire Force released a new chapter, and it has not, for some strange reason. So who knows when I'll be able to review that? Yep. As for Demon Slayer, I'm getting close to wrapping up the current I'm currently working on, the Swordsman Village arc. I've got roughly about 13 chapters left to read, and then I'll probably get a chance to review it hopefully today. Maybe I will. It just depends on if I'm able to finish it up today, okay? But until you see next view, which will be a Comic Corner. Bye.